Good morning and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to part 7. Holy moly, 7 parts of this particular unit on business or personal finance and budgets. So we've had a lot that we've covered so far, and we'll review that in the next video. But today we're going to get right into it and look at looking for the deal. Now, the idea here is that if you put yourself into a position where you're using cash, okay, and so on and so forth, because you've budgeted properly, right? You're not using debts, okay, then you could use the power of the dollar, all right? And that's what we're going to talk about today. And more specifically, as I said the last time in the last video, that millionaires don't often ask how much per month, they ask how much. So with that in mind, there's a couple things you need to remember. One, marketers and advertisers are always competing for your dollar, all right? We kind of covered that with the whole marketing unit. We looked at marketing as advantage and what the goal of marketing is, right? To create awareness, right? So that's why there are multiple stores right by each other. Example, you head down Highway 90, you see McDonald's and Chick-fil-A and Taco Bell and Burger King, right? Everyone is trying to compete for your dollar in some way, shape, form, or fashion, right? So you've got to be aware of that, right? In fact, it could be statistically proven that the average American receives 3,000, yes, 3,000 commercial messages per day, right? When I say commercial, that means from a business advertiser in some way, shape, form, or fashion. I mean, just look at the school, look at the labels and the brands that are around us, right? Look, when you look down at the back of a car, right? There's the brand, right? You see something, you see billboards, you see signs, you're seeing placement of things, right? 3,000 messages a day saying, hey, we want you to do business with us, right? And the thing is that marketing and advertising are science. And, it's an art too. We talked about that, right? Based off of observational statistics and maybe psychology, like getting people to think certain things, and physiology and all those kind of good things. Where do people look at for things and so on and so forth, right? So you've got to be aware of a couple things that are out there. One, don't let marketers control where you're going to do your money and spend your money, right? What you're going to do with your money. You're the boss of that. Remember, you are the chief financial officer of you, the business, right? So you got to be aware of personal selling, right? You know what personal selling means? We talked about this. Mr. C cracks jokes about that in the class all the time, right? So people selling one-on-one, right? You got to be aware of financing and things like easy days, same as cash, finance today, make payments. You can't afford all the purchase, finance it, You got to be aware of that. You got to be aware of media and advertising saying, hey, come and buy our products. Do it now before it's too late. Those sort of things. And of course, product positioning, right? That's always helpful. We kind of briefly hinted at that as well in our marketing unit. Things like on the end caps, things for sale, where they put things for kiddies and not kitties, but little kitties, right? For the cereal and such. And so you get the idea. You've got to be aware of it. And if you have awareness of it, you have better control over your dollar, all right? That's part of being an adult, all right? Or learning to be an adult, if you will. All righty? So let's look at the next slide here. Looking for the deal. All right, so here's the thing. You've got to figure out what to you is a significant purchase. Because a significant purchase for me may not be a significant purchase for you. Or a significant purchase for you may not be something that Mr. C thinks is a significant purchase, right? So you've got to define that. What do you think a significant purchase is? Is it $20? Is it $300? Is it $1,000? You see, your income determines that, how much money you're making. All right, somebody working part-time, all right, somewhere, right, and they're having to pay rent, okay, and having to cover their own expenses, don't have a lot of disposable money, like students in high school might have disposable money, means they're living with mom and dad, they don't have to pay rent and other things, right? Well, if that's the case, then, you got to think, okay, how much is a significant purchase, right? Then you got to be aware of buyer's remorse. And buyer's remorse, what that basically means is, oh, man, I can't believe I know I wanted this, but I just can't believe I just spent $500 on the PlayStation 5. I can't believe that, right? That's buyer's remorse, right? And people do that with like cars and other big purchases, right? And the big thing is you got to be disciplined. So don't be the spoiled kid going, I want, I want, I want. All right? Don't be that kid who breaks down in the aisle at Walmart because the mom won't buy them a toy, right, as an adult. Okay? That means don't be breaking down because you don't buy the latest big screen TV or latest furniture, right? You've got to control your habits and your spending, right? You've got to have power over the purchase. So there's a couple things that you need to keep in mind when you're out and about. If you're shopping, if you're thinking about buying something, wait. Any good purchase can wait. And if the person who is talking to you about it says, well, the deal ends tomorrow, then it's not the right time. All right? And that's for significant purchases, okay? I'm not saying wait to buy toothpaste, okay? I'm talking significant purchases, all right? So wait a few hours. Think on it, okay? Debate, okay, am I better without it, okay? Don't just be impulsive, all right? Then you got to consider the motives, your personal motives, right? Why are you really buying the item that you're buying? And is it that important, okay? That's a motive, right? Am I buying it for somebody else? Why are they wanting it? Why are they wanting to sell it to me? All right. What's the motive here, right? Look, is it too much for something for its purpose, or is it overcomplicated? In other words, look, I just wanted a big screen TV and I was looking at 42 inches, but now I'm here and I'm seeing the big 8-foot wide TVs, the big 72 inches or the big 86-inch TVs. And wow, that's what I'm going to get. Well, is it too much for the purpose of having a TV? Or a monitor, right? You get the idea. Is it overcomplicated? Okay? Those are things. And then finally, use the power of cash if you can. Now, I'm not saying that you walk into Publix and get a grocery cart full of groceries and bring up the register and say, you know what? I'm not happy with the $200 that the bill says. I got cash, so I'm going to give you $150. That's not how it works, all right? Use the power of cash for big items when you can, okay? Not always. It doesn't always avail itself that way, but when you can, all right? And here's the thing. You got to look for the deal, okay? You got to understand, though, that with all the self-discipline, right? And I'm not saying, well, Mr. C, you make it sound like that you can't do anything and you've got to be this super budgeting nerd who doesn't go out and enjoy life. That's not what I'm saying, right? You've got to figure out that buying is okay. It's all right to go out to the movies and treat yourself if it's in your budget, okay? It's okay. And honestly, if you get a good deal on something like getting a new car or getting a deal on a TV and you feel like you've got good value out of it, or like a new surround sound system or a new computer or a new game system and then throw in a couple of games because you purchased something, it feels satisfying, right? All right? And here's the thing. It's okay to negotiate. Again, it depends on the purchase. Example, I want to buy a new to me vehicle, right? And I'm buying it from the individual, okay? Not a business, but an individual. It's okay to negotiate. If I'm buying it from a dealership, negotiations is accepted and acceptable. And it's okay to say no if it doesn't work out that way. And it's not immoral, okay? Some cultures will be offended if negotiating isn't engaged, all right? Which cultures? Well, you got to do some research on your own, right? But here's the thing. Just because it says, look, it's on sale, doesn't mean it's actually on sale, okay? See, the people in the U.S. say, okay, there's the word sale. That must mean there's a sale going on. Well, we've accepted that 120% of retail price is actually just the word sale. It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, you see it all the time. Go down the 90 and look at the car dealerships. Look at Roundtree. Look at the Ford place, the Chevy place, the Toyota place, right? And they all have sale written right there. They got the hoods open, S-A-L-E, on every single vehicle, right? Is it really a sale for anything special? Okay. So you got to be careful. And of course, that applies to certain purchases. So you have to know which purchases those are, right? Am I saying go and negotiate with the people at Best Buy for new items? Probably not going to work there, but you might be able to ask the manager, hey, if I get this and this, can we throw in a discount? Can I do something like that? And I might say, sure, I'll see what I can do, okay? So you've got to look at those options, okay? It doesn't always happen, and don't be upset if it doesn't, okay? And here's a good term that'll get you through life, all right? Are you ready for this? It's a great phrase that when everything isn't working out, all right, or it's not going your way, okay, and you want to make it a certain way, here's what you say. That's not good enough. Not good enough, all right? It's a great tool when negotiating, when working, or when purchasing, okay? Or, when applying things to the real world. That's not good enough, all right? It's powerful, powerful phrase, all right? All right. See, it's okay to want a better deal, right? It's okay to say, hey, I could get more out of my money because I worked hard for this dollar, all right? That makes sense, okay? You want a good deal with it. Here's the thing, though. If you are selling something, okay, if you have something for sale that you're offering to somebody, don't misrepresent the truth or create half-truths, okay? Because that'll come back and bite you, and that's in the business world. Additionally, if you are buying something from somebody, don't misrepresent the truth or make half-truths, okay? I hate to use a personal story about this, but I was with a family member, and I had was just before I went to college, and we were looking at homes, and this person thought it was okay to say, oh, yeah, this is so-and-so, and he just got a scholarship to play football. That wasn't even close to being true. Honestly, do I look like a football player to you? All right? No, not at all. All right? I am not tall enough to play football, all right, in the pros and college world, all right? So, yeah, it's not acceptable to, make truths. So if you suspect that somebody who's selling you something isn't representing themselves accordingly and isn't being truthful, stop, all right? Just stop. Say, time out. I've heard enough that something's not right here. Walk away, and it's okay to. All right. I've seen a lot of good people out there who've gotten bad deals. All right. I can remember this one time. I worked at my pop's shop for a brief moment, right? And a guy came in and he was having engine problems, and he was on a road trip because he had just purchased a vehicle from a individual down in South Florida. And after we investigated the problem with the vehicle, it turns out that the engine had a crack in it. All right. And the block had a crack in it, and actually it had to be replaced. Just bought the vehicle not 2 days ago and was sold to him with a bad engine. All right. Somebody didn't represent themselves accordingly. All right. So what you want to do is you want to create a win-win deal, right? Look, I'm going to make this happen if you give me this. Okay. If you give me a discount, sure, I'll write you a check today. Okay. That is fine. Okay. It's a win-win deal. And when you're negotiating things, think about this. Okay. This is where the price is starting at. Okay. Especially when it comes time to buy a vehicle, okay? This is where the price starts at, okay? Or when you're looking at something on eBay or on Craigslist, etc., right? That's where the price starts at, all right? Aim to get a yes, but be reasonable. Don't insult the person, all right? I remember trying to sell a bike once, and not a bicycle, but a motorcycle, all right? And I clearly had the price set at, I think I was trying to sell it for 19, okay? I was going to take 15, and people were coming in for $1,000. I'm like, that's not even close. Not even. One guy said 500. I'm like, dude, you're wasting my time. Thank you very much for your time. I started walking away. Wait, hang on. I was like, okay, well, give me real numbers here. Don't just waste my time, okay? And so aim at getting a yes, all right? And use the power of cash when possible. It'll do great things for you, okay? Again, you got to be picky and choosy where you use these strategies. Again, you can't walk into Walmart and say, I got a grocery cart full of stuff and furniture. I'll give you $100 for it. Not going to work, all right? All right, so next thing, it's okay to walk away. Yes, it's okay. If you're negotiating something, it's okay to say not good enough, right? That's not good enough, and start walking away, all right? And if the person doesn't call back, don't make it purposeful to just kind of like lean and wait for the response. Lean and wait for the response, all right? Just walk. Go away. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it, right? Don't commit yourself to the purchase, all right? Or, I see it all the time. I see these videos, and one of my favorites is watching somebody who's wanting to buy it and looking in for a house, right? And or a place for a business, and they're looking around and they're trying to be hard to negotiate, and they're trying to say, well, this is inadequate, this needs to be fixed, this needs to be repaired, right? And then the person with the money comes in and says, oh, this place is perfect, we'll take it, how much, right? So you get the idea, right? Don't commit yourself, play casual, right? And careful, don't talk too much. Don't talk too much, especially in negotiation, right? Because the one who speaks first loses. That's something they taught me in sales. The one who speaks first loses, especially when it comes down to negotiating. Don't be rude, okay? You want to treat people respectfully, right? And you want people to treat you respectfully, right? So don't be rude, all right? engage in conversations. Don't be like, I ain't saying nothing. All right? It's okay. All right? Careful. Don't speak too much. All right? And use the if I do this, will you this? Look, okay. Got a new car here, okay? Or I got a new to me car here, used car. Look, I know the price is, and you're saying you cannot do anything less than $12,000, and I respect that. But tell you what, I'll do $12,000 with taxes, tag, title, clean it up, fill the tank up, and give me a brand new set of floor mats. Okay. Most car dealerships will say, yeah, we got that. All right? So if I, will you? All right? There you go. All right, let's see here. Walk away, we covered that. Oh, look! We've come to the end of this particular lesson. All right, so you should be able to use the information provided or the information in my PowerPoint to answer those questions. Some of these will be up to you to figure out, all right? And then you can go from there. So on our next unit or our next section, we'll wrap things up and call it a moment with this and kind of do a brief rehashing of things. And there you go. Thank you for watching.